okay with me.
Hello. Welcome to Small Screen Live. I hope you guys are doing really well. I could literally just chill to that tune for a very long time. It's such a good tune. It's really good. I'd love to have it in the background as I'm doing the intro. It's like, you do one of those really funky, cool intros where the person comes in and starts talking when the music's still going. You know, those professional things. Anyway, that's what I think that'd just be really cool. Anyway, welcome to Small Screen Live. I hope you guys are doing really well. It is that I think I hear it now. I think James has just put it on. And so tonight we're going to be talking about all sorts of things. We're going to be talking about, one of the main things we're going to be talking about is what's going on with DC films. We're also going to be talking a little bit about, maybe you can lower it actually a bit. Yeah, I can see you lowering it a bit. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Stranger Things Season 4. We're going to be talking about what the future of DC films is going to look like. We've got so much stuff to talk to you guys about. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Lars Mikkelsen and what's going on with him. So there's a lot of stuff to go over tonight. Robbie Amell and The Witcher. We've got Bryce Dallas Howard talking about the Ahsoka series as well. We might talk a little bit about that. We've got Michael Keaton as the Batman. We've got a little glimpse of him potentially as the Batman. We're also going to be talking about Moonknight Episode 3 because that aired this week. And also Flash Season 9. It looks like it's going to be the final series. And it might be a short one. But let's say...
Wow.
Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. So who's in the chat right now? We have Chrysler saying, quack. Yes, please like and subscribe. Follow us everywhere at Small Screen Co. If you haven't liked this video yet, please do that now. And please subscribe to the channel as well. If you haven't, we're doing really well with subscribers. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed and probably isn't as familiar with with the channel as everybody else. But also thank you to everyone that's stuck around with us for so long. So I think we're at 2.7. We're coming up to 3,000, which should be great if we could get there by the end of the month. We're hoping, fingers crossed. And we've got lots of videos there. If you haven't checked those out as well, please go check them out. In 4 days. James has been doing a lot of work. So has Dan as well. A lot of appreciation from me goes out to those two guys. They've been great. Doing some fantastic videos on all sorts of things like Mindhunter, Reacher. We've got some others planned that are coming out very soon. We're very excited about. So who else do we have in the chat? We have... who else do we have? We have Bobby Anderson saying, hi, James, Edward, and Clint. Hello to you, Bobby. I hope you're doing very well. Bobby, I'm back into Animal Crossing. I was out of it for a while, but I'm back into it. So I'm going to be visiting your island, I hope. My wife's also into Animal Crossing now as well. I got her a Switch. So she's playing it. She started her own island as well. That's fun. Who else do we have in the chat? We have... Sean Harrigan saying hello to the Small Screen fam. Hello to you, Sean. I hope you're doing very well.
You're a funny guy, Sully.
You are a funny guy, Sully. You're a very funny guy. Who else do we have? We have Jelly Cosplayer saying the quacks are going too far. Oh, come on. You can't quack too much. You got to quack that notification bell, guy. Who else do we have? We have Bakertown saying, ahoy, ahoy, hoy? Is that how you say it? Ahoy, hoy? Family. We got this odd comment that keeps on coming up from us. I don't know what's going on there. Asking about what did you guys think of Boba Fett Episode 3? That was a long time ago. Should delete that comment.
2 minutes in the countdown to share to the socials, and I ran out of time to delete that Boba Fett 3 comment.
But what is that? That keeps on coming up. I don't understand that.
I think you put it in once as an auto comment for Boba Fett Episode 3, and then it just keeps coming up.
That's weird.
Haven't had a chance
strange.
To check yet.
I'm sorry about that. That's my fault. Right, who else do we have in the chat?
Sorry.
I am very sorry. Sorry, James. We have that James guy. The quacks must never stop. He is right. The quacks must never, ever stop. A little later on, we will hopefully have Clint coming on to help me and help James just talk about things. He's very interesting, got lots of good opinions on everything, and does tend to like everything. But you know what? I think we're breaking him. I think we're breaking Clint because there are some things that have come up recently that he doesn't love. And Bobby Anderson says hi. Exactly. Who's going to be in Doctor Strange 2? I don't know. Do you? Who else do we have in the chat? We have Jedi Master EJ saying hello there. Hello to you.
Hello there.
Hello there. Right. Jedi Master EJ saying, how's everyone's Friday going? Yes, it's Good Friday today, isn't it? So it's a holiday weekend, so thank you very much for being with us before the holiday weekend, although the weekend started already if it's Friday. It's fine. Work's over. It's good fun. I'm wearing my summer t-shirt, my summer shirt. I'm all ready for the summer. It's April, but I'm ready for the summer. Chris is saying, good here also. I get to spend an hour with you guys before I head out to teach Friday class. I will listen to the stream as I drive. Well, drive safe. Thank you very much, Chrysler. That's lovely. And I hope you have a good class. Hope your Friday class is a good one. And who else do we have? We have Sean saying, I think Tommy's having a moment there. Oh, yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about Tommy Wiseau. I forgot to mention him. We're going to be talking about Tommy, the creator, the genius behind The Room. And we'll go.
Busy. What's going on?
Yeah, brilliant. Who else do we have in the chat? We have I said hello to everybody? I like to say hello to everybody before we get started. Geek Studios is here saying finally notifications works. Brilliant. I'm glad that worked.
Hello, Geek Studios.
Hello. I hope you're doing very well. We have Prince Zodiac saying good evening, everybody. You guys are so nice to one another in the chat. That's so lovely. Who else? We have Chrysler again saying chillest intro ever. It really is. That intro is so chill, I have to say. Really chill. This isn't the same music. If it was the same music, that would also be really chill. Geek Studio saying, hey there, Edward and James. Yeah, it's just us two at the moment. Hopefully we'll be joined by Clint later on. Johan Ruttenauer, is that how you pronounce the name? Saying hello there. Hello there. Is it coming up? I don't think it's coming up. It's going to come up like...
Hello, Peter.
Hello there.
Hello there. And we also have Geek Studio saying the music is chill. It is chill. This music, I don't like it as much as the intro music. We've got to do something about that, James. Got to get that intro music as a sound bed for the show. Crow's Nest saying, "Hey James," just to James. Everyone say hello to James. He works so hard, and I really do mean that. He works a lot harder than I do, and it puts me to shame. Right, who else do we have? I think that's everybody. Is that everybody?
You said hi, Edward, right afterwards, man. Are you not looking at your screen?
Oh, sorry. I said, hey, Edward. Hey, Crow's Nest. I hope you're doing well. Raj is in the chat saying, hey guys, Danza. He's saying hello to everybody, literally everybody. Been sick all week and had to leave a party early. Fueled up, definitely used cheering up. Oh, well, hopefully we will cheer you up. I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. That sucks, man. And hopefully you can feel better watching a bit of Small Screen Live.
Hope you better, Raj. I've been seeing your posts that you've been under the weather. Hope you kicked that cold's ass.
Yeah, kick that cold's ass. Right, we have what you found something Clint. Nah, I liked it. Baker doesn't like. I can't believe it. Yeah, he didn't like Morbius. Morbius, he wasn't too keen on. And then there have just been recently. He's been saying some things that makes me think that he doesn't. He does like a lot of things. He tends to like a lot of things. There are some things that he doesn't like. He really did not like Jupiter's Ascent, Jupiter's Legacy. I mean, if you like Jupiter's Legacy was the show you didn't like? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that because there's Jupiter Ascending.
The fake beards.
The fake beards, yeah. Because there's a movie called Jupiter Ascending, isn't there? That was the Wachowski sisters movie. Came out a while back. And who else do we have? Said Danzig saying it's a variant, Clint. Probably is, It probably is a variant.
What's up, Danzig?
What's up, Danzig? 1979. Hunter Iggy says, small screen, I have a question. Do you think WBD is that Warner Brothers? Warner Brothers Discovery will reboot the DCU with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot remain as Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Interesting, you should say that. I think that's a question that we'll go into a bit later on, when Clint's also in the show, and maybe James might want to jump in on it as well. But I think we are going to talk about that. I will give my expanded thoughts on that in a minute. It's an interesting question, though. Thank you very much, Hunter, and we will address it further down the line. I don't want to just take up everybody's time with my solo thoughts at the moment. Who else do we have? I will, Hunter. I will talk about that in a second. We have. Who else do we have in the chat? Says Bobby. Bobby says, Edward, I'm up to play anytime. Watch for Open Gate. Yes, I will. I think I'm going to need your help with some things, and I do just want to visit your island again, Bobby. So any time your gates are open, I will come and have a look around your wonderful island, which puts me to shame. But it's an incredible island. Caleb Richardson, what are your thoughts on the man masquerading on Twitter as the Snyder Cult and his Riddler-like videos? That is interesting. Yeah, I saw this, and now James has popped in.
I've just seen rumblings, but I haven't really.
Okay. So I've been
over-eager troll or something. I don't know.
He's not a troll. That's the first thing I will say. He's not a troll. Actually, if anything, this guy is he's actually promoting a message that I actually really do quite like, and that's that he basically likes everything that DC Films has done. He likes the Snyderverse, but he also likes the Batman. He likes Robert Pattinson's Batman as well. And he's basically trying to promote a more open conversation about everything, but he does it in a way that's a bit weird, I have to say. Like his Riddler-like videos, to be honest, they're very well edited. You should watch the videos because they're quite fun.
So his message is basically what our message is.
Yeah, his message is just like everyone needs to chill, basically, cool. and you know, and he does it in a way that I think is it's inventive, but also it can maybe people might take it the wrong way, and calling it the Snyder Cult, people might immediately start to be turned off it a bit. But honestly, I think he was outed recently on Twitter as well, which is a bit of a shame because he wanted to keep his identity secret, and you know, he's going around there wearing a mask and stuff. So, you know, there's that to it as well. But there are a lot of people in that space that do that sort of thing. I'm not going to name them, but that, you know, but I think the Snyder Cult's message is actually one of the most positive ones I've seen within the Snyderverse kind of community, which I actually quite like the guy, and I think he's got a lot of good stuff to say, and I don't think people should bash him too much because I don't really understand why you would. That's my opinion on it, anyway. Has anyone said anything about that in the chat? I need to go into it. But thank you very much, Caleb, for that question. Wait, you can like everything DC and not pick a side. The more you know, says Danzig. Exactly. That's basically what he's promoting. It's like, you know, you can like everything and multiple things inside the you know, the DC universe, call it. And not, you know, it's like for me and James are the same. I think we both really loved Zack Snyder's Justice League. I adored the Batman. I think pretty sure James did as well. You know, all I want is to see good movies. And no matter, like, for me, I don't, you know, I don't think you really should pick sides because I don't think that's something that benefits anybody. And as Chrysler says, DC can be a big tent. Yes, it can be a big tent, and it's what it should be. I saw that Prince Zodiac said something quite funny, but maybe let's pass over that. Anyway, Danzig says, Ed could wear a mask, but his amazing hair would be a dead giveaway. You're very, very kind. Oh, you cut that last bit off. But honestly, the thing that I was thinking about is
I didn't want to be mean. He's not wrong.
But the thing that really, when I watch these things and these certain streamers that do a whole stream or whole video wearing a mask, I'd be like, I would not be able to do that because I already struggle just wearing a face mask in everyday life as it is. I would not want to come on a stream and have a mask on for like an hour or 2 hours. That'd be horrible. I honestly don't know how people do that. It's not my thing. And I'm not sure if it really promotes the right sorts of message, but I understand people wanting to have a certain amount of anonymity on the internet. And I know I got that word wrong. Anonymity. There we go. Who else do we have in the chat? Thank you for that, Dan, by the way. We have... I'll bring it up. We have the Hubber Experience official YouTube channel saying, I wouldn't mind if they rebooted everything, but on the other hand, I would get disappointed if they got rid of Michael Keaton's future projects. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with Michael Keaton. Because we already know that, I mean, he's in Batgirl. He's definitely doing Batgirl. And he's hopefully going to be in The Flash, like whatever ends up happening with that movie. And then there were...
No!
There you go. And there were rumors that that he might be doing a Batman Beyond series, which is actually something that we were told was happening. But the thing is that these projects now, like, I think everyone's just got to wait a bit to see what happens. I think what Warner Brothers will want to do is to see what the reaction is to Michael Keaton's Batman first in Batgirl, which is the movie that comes out first now, because The Flash has been pushed to 2023. So they'll want to see what happens with that film and the reaction to Michael Keaton's Batman, which I'm pretty sure will be very, very positive. And I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to be seeing a lot of Michael Keaton as Batman moving forward, or at least as Bruce Wayne moving forward. And so we've even heard rumors of that they're kind of doing a gender swap to the whole Batman Beyond thing, where it will actually be Batgirl and Michael Keaton will be doing the same sort of character that Bruce Wayne is in the animated series. I'm forgetting the name of the Batman in that. If James can come in and help me with the name of the, is it? I'm blanking on the name of the what's the name of the guy that is Batman in Batman Beyond? Who becomes Batman? There you go, Terry McGinnis. I could not remember that. I had a brain fart. But yeah, so rather than that, they'll have Barbara Gordon be that sort of character, which, I mean, it would make sense as a continuation of the Batgirl movie. But we're just gonna have to wait and see what they do. I'm hopeful that they will bring in Michael Keaton, and it'll be people will have a positive reaction to him in Batgirl. Then they'll want to see more of him in the Flash movie, and then after the Flash movie, they'll want to see even more of him, hopefully in an HBO Max series. I think this is something that Discovery would really like to do. I think Warner Media have wanted to do this for a long time, so we're just gonna have to wait and see, really. Yeah, thank you everyone in the chat for saying Terry McGinnis. And Dan Zig agrees, and I agree with Dan Zig. Sorry, Dan Zig says that James, your hair is amazing too, and it is, James. It is great. Who else do we have?
It was. I've been looking for an older picture to show when I had like the big Dragon Ball Z hair.
Leroy Kong 4. Are you the fourth Leroy Kong? Says, hello guys, sorry I'm late. I really hope that Zaslav restores the Snyderverse. Great live. We're going to have to wait and see what he does. I'm not sure, who knows? Who knows at this point? And I have 4 channels. I am on my 4th channel. Don't worry about anything. 4?
Chill, Winston.
Wow, that's a lot. Right, so shall we just get straight into the first bit of news as we wait for Clint to come in? And I'm just going to bring up the running order. Sorry guys, this is very last minute everything here. This is how things go on Small Screen Live. Right, here we go. So right, Walter Hamada. Should we talk about Walter Hamada for a bit? Here we go. Walter Hamada tried to remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. So this actually came from a deposition that is all to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone here knows what's been happening. There's been the Johnny Depp trial against Amber Heard for defamation for the article that she wrote in the which is it the New Yorker? It was the op-ed that I can't remember which media outlet she wrote it for. I'm not even sure if I put it in the article, but yeah, she wrote an op-ed about being a victim of domestic abuse, and she didn't name Johnny Depp in the article, but she made it pretty. I don't think I put it in there, but she made it pretty clear in that article that who she was talking about. But the thing is that they've now got this trial that's going on. It's actually being streamed live on Court TV, which I think is very funny. Apparently, the numbers have been decent, not amazing. I think they were expecting bigger numbers. But during this, so basically, the Walter Hamada, DC Films president, did a deposition. In that deposition, he revealed that he was trying to get rid of Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. The reason being is that she had apparently very little chemistry with the movie's leads, Jason Momoa. They had chemistry concerns. And this all came from Puck, which is an outlet that does a lot of this sort of stuff. So they're actually really good. You should check out our article, then click the link over to Puck's to read the whole thing. But I think you might have to pay, to read that. But yes, so he in the article that the journalist claimed that he had uncovered information pertaining to a deposition of Walter Hamada that will feature in Heard's upcoming defamation trial opposite Johnny Depp, revealing that the actress was almost dropped from Aquaman 2 due to her perceived lack of chemistry with Jason Momoa. So later on, it was then the deposition. Then it was revealed that that was the case, but apparently Hamada really pushed to have her removed. But other executives, higher up executives in the company, fought against it, and she ended up staying. But she was kept in the movie, but she didn't get a raise. And Jason Momoa did get a raise, but she didn't get one. So apparently Heard really fought hard for a pay raise, but they just didn't. They thought, we'll keep you in the movie, but we won't give you a pay raise. Honestly, this is something that I was not entirely surprised by. But this kind of sparked. I remember at the time there were a lot of rumors about her being dropped from the movie entirely. I'm pretty sure this is where they stemmed from, and that they were already looking at potential replacements for her. And one of the big names was Emilia Clarke, that came up a lot, the Game of Thrones actress, and of course having her and Jason Momoa be in the same film definitely would not have chemistry concerns with those two, because they had really good chemistry in Game of Thrones. And I think there's a bigger issue here, and one of the bigger issues is why was she cast in the first place if they knew that they had chemistry concerns? As Walter Hamada was saying, it was pretty early on in the process, but they still made the movie anyway. And then so they made the first movie, and then they were about to make the second one, and they were trying to get rid of her. Honestly, people are wondering whether this is real. Honestly, I do not understand why Walter Hamada would say this stuff if it wasn't. And also, what benefit would it be for him? If anything, it makes him look kind of bad. It makes everyone in the whole Warner Brothers executive office look bad, because it's just not a good look for anybody. It's like you should.
Well, there's two ways that you can look at it for his motivations. One, he's telling the truth. And he tried to get Heard off. And the second is found out a bunch of new evidence. He thinks, or him and the executives and the PR team think that it's not going to end well for Amber Heard. So now they're backtracking, and they're trying to make the company look good by saying, "Oh, we were trying to correct this before, so they don't have another Ray Fisher situation." Those are the two options. Will we know? No, not in their heads, but. Those are the two options.
I mean, yeah, you got a good point, but I would also say, why be part of this at all? As far as Walter Hamada could have very easily said, no, I don't want to be part of this, and this would have never come out. And it really,
Did he
I think this
volunteer
is
to take the stand, or was he called upon through?
actually that information I don't have. So
he had a subpoena.
then
He
again,
had no choice.
do you think he would have been subpoenaed?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and if it because she brought in the having to work on Aquaman 2, and because of this trial and the defamation suit and everything, delayed. What did she say? Her lawyer put out it jeopardized her career and her Aquaman 2, so therefore the company's involved, and then they would have to get subpoenas.
I mean, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he had no choice but to be part of this. Which, I mean, if the thing is to me it seems a bit strange because that's why they're using this, because she used filming Aquaman 2 as an excuse for not to have the trial at that time. So that's why they ended up both delaying the trial, I think, and they also delaying some of the shooting of the movie, which doesn't really make much sense. But like, honestly, when I saw this, I was a bit like, this is a really weird story, because like, who are the executives that wanted to keep her on? I do wonder whether it was more of an optics thing more than anything. It's like they could not really fire Amber Heard because at the end of the day, like she did win. Well, she didn't win. The trial that Johnny Depp was The Sun in the UK, the Sun newspaper, and he ended up losing that trial. I'm pretty sure if he won that trial, then Warner Brothers wouldn't have hesitated to remove Amber Heard from their movie and get someone else in. It's a part that could have very easily I don't think it would have been that difficult to recast that role. They've done it with other actors before in the MCU. They've done it with a bunch of actors. Don Cheadle was brought in to replace what's Terrence Howard, I think his name is. Yeah, and then you've also got the whole Edward Norton thing, who was replaced later on by Mark Ruffalo, and those were for slightly different. The Terrence Howard thing, I think, came down to money, and not quite sure what the Edward Norton thing came down to. I don't know why they ended up going for Mark Ruffalo instead. But it's not something that's unheard of in the comic book movie genre. It's like this happens quite a lot, recasting actors. I think that's a pretty good reason to get rid of an actor if they have chemistry concerns with their actor. That watch it. If you rewatch the first film, it's like the romantic interest between the two of them is quite weak, and I think that's probably something that they wanted. They wanted something a bit stronger in that area, and it just didn't quite work. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. See if it's any better in this movie, but I doubt it.
Contracts are difficult to break too.
Well, they've done it before. I mean, they paid Johnny Depp.
But how much money did it cost? And WB being 58, like maybe they were hedging their bets on Amber Heard. Sticking with
this makes
power.
me
because she did show up for the reshoot of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yes,
but she and Zack Snyder they're simpatico, aren't they? They do get on very well. And I think she has a very good relationship with James Wan as well.
Yeah, but it's ultimately a studio decision.
Exactly, yeah. And Walter Hamada he's like the main producer on these movies. So if he's saying that he wanted her removed, then that would have been a pretty big deal. I'm wondering who were the higher up executives that went against her, his decision. I'm pretty
how come
sure
this never leaked before either? Well,
there were kind of leaks that they were looking to replace her.
Yeah,
like those were coming out, and maybe that's where it stemmed. That's what I was thinking. Maybe that's where it came from. But yes, I see Dan's comment. What about Amber Heard's accent work? Well, that again is that is just that's something else. Yeah, I hear a lot of people at the moment criticizing Oscar Isaac's accent in Moon Knight, but tell you what, his accent in Moon Knight is a heck of a lot better than her accent in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It's an American subconscious thing on an English accent.
Yeah, and that's why it works. But Amber Heard's English accent literally came out of nowhere in that movie. That's the thing that annoyed me the most about that film, was the fact that there was no need for that British accent, and it made no sense as far as the character's concerned, because we'd just watched Aquaman, in which she just has her normal American accent.
Just watch
so
what?
why
Sorry?
we just watched Aquaman.
Sorry.
What?
Just watch what?
Aquaman.
Okay.
Why? What did I say?
You said Aquaman.
Yes, Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Aqua, not aqua. Aqua. No, but actually, what?
and I do think that moving forward, there's more opportunities for us to do things like this. And really, it at the end of the day, it's about the fans, and I think the fans.
Yeah, it was about the fans, wasn't it, Walter? Anyway, I think it's an interesting story because it offers us some insight into what was going on behind the scenes, and it seems like it was a mess. It seems like it was such a mess. But anyway, should we move on to the next topic? I've got no segue into this. But also guys, do let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I will try and get to them as fast as I can. Baker Town saying Aquaman more like Aqua mess. Am I right, guys? Yes, seriously, it is. It really is. I see some Hamada spoons coming up. With all due respect, Amber Heard is great as Mira. She did an awesome job. I mean, we can agree. I mean, I don't want to say agree to disagree because I think she was all right in the first movie in Aquaman or Aquaman or however you say it.
Yes, it's Aquaman.
I'm sticking as far as I'm concerned, it's Aquaman.
Say Aqua.
Well, no, it's Aqua. I say Aqua, not Aqua.
For water, you say Aqua.
Well, if you want to go down the Latin route, then yes. If you go to Spain, you ask for Aqua, not Aqua.
We're not going the Latin route.
Well, that's a Latin word.
It's like Mr. Sunday's movies. Whenever they say Aquaman, they say Aquaman.
It's an accent thing. It's
'cause
like
that's
a
from
US it's Australia UK accent. Get it right. America, you guys say
so
Super. You say what's his name? Is it Super Mario or Super Mario? Or, I don't know how you guys
Super Mario
over there. Super Mario. It's
Super Mario.
Mario. You see, you say it wrong.
Super Mario.
It's Mario. Hey, Mario.
Say Canada.
Canada.
Oh, there you go. You didn't say Canada.
Well, no, because I'm English, so it's Canada.
No, last week you said Canada.
Canada. I don't never say Canada.
Yeah, you did. I'll find the time code and I'll show everyone next week.
Dude, normally I film these at like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'll say anything. Yes, aluminium, by the way, is aluminium, not aluminum, whatever you guys call it. Raj says Amber Heard was good as Mirror and Aquaman and Snyder Cut, but thanks to old WB regime and their PR and their reputation is down the toilet, and the new Warner Brothers Discovery may need to fire her just for damage control. Well, I've made my opinions on Amber Heard's performance in the Snyder Cut very, very public.
Do you want to see it?
I think she's terrible in that movie. but that's my personal opinion. I think I said before, I think she's decent in the first Aquaman film, but I honestly think she's utterly easily replaceable. Though it's not like if you were to replace her, I don't think there would be much. Like, I think people probably wouldn't even notice.
Just from Twitter.
Yeah, you'd get a lot of noise about it on Twitter, but I think because lots of people were really liking the idea of Emilia Clarke playing Mira, and there were lots of other actors that were put into the names that were being bandied about on Twitter. So this, honestly, I think she's good, but I don't think she's good enough to be irreplaceable. If that makes any sense.
Now I got that song stuck in my head.
Yes, and Chrysler, the Hamada spoon.
Hamada burger.
Great.
Hamada burger. Hamada spoon.
And yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on now in the chat about this. This is not going to be a thing, guys. Aquaman
Hey, no, you said that the UK and whatever else you said and Australia was the right way to say it. Like you planted your flag right away there. So now they're making it a thing.
No, the only reason I said it's the right way to say it is because you started having a go at me about saying it that way. So if anything,
No,
you were the one that was saying it.
We say aqua, as in agua, aqua.
Yeah, but it's spelt differently. Aquafina is that I only recently learned learned how to say her name.
Oh, see, Bakertown, it's Aguana.
It's agua in Spanish, yeah, not agua.
Super Mario.
Anyway, aluminium. Yes, the great debate. Canada, what's going on? Seriously. And yes, the merger. We will talk about that in a second, like the actual merger. But I do want to get to this.
That's what I named this. I named this file name.
Yeah.
Merger.
It's
What's up, Kaz? I don't know where you're at. I think he's sleeping.
I do think we should get on. Oh yeah, did she bring a big jug of water to court? Oh god, Chrysler. Very funny. Raj, oh no, Amber Heard's English accent is an abomination. Thank you, Raj. You agree with me. She may as well have gone to Buckingham Palace and slapped the Queen. Oh, dude. Oh, dear.
Danzig, I say if Depp wins, maybe they should CGI replace Depp as Mara. Thoughts? I say that they should CGI her with Christopher Plummer.
Hey, you do a better job. You probably do a better British accent. R.I.P. Christopher Plummer. Twitter is not a real place. No, it isn't a real place. But that's the thing. I think people forget that. And people get too roped into like, oh, people on Twitter are saying this and getting really angry about this. It's a very small amount of people in the grand
until
scheme.
Elon Musk buys it.
Oh, was it 43 billion he offered for it or something?
Something like $54 above a share or something.
God,
I want him to buy it. I think it'll be great.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Elon Musk, man.
Yeah. Are you a Musk shill?
No, I'm just a Musk fan.
Raj says Emilia Clarke would have been great, a great mirror in the DC films. Yeah, I think she would have been good.
We still have the background music on.
Yeah, we do.
I can't hear it. Let's turn that off here. There we go.
I think Emilia would have made a very good mirror, and replace Amber Heard with Johnny Depp. Well, poor old Johnny Depp. Well, not poor old Johnny Depp, but I just find reading some articles of what's being said at this trial really funny. I can't remember who it was. It was either Johnny Depp's sister, I think, literally said Amber Heard called Johnny Depp old and fat. I was like, is this really what it's coming down to? It's like she called him old and fat. It's like, well, he probably was at the time a little bit chubby.
Now it's high school. It's Twitter high school.
Yeah. It's like, dude, seriously. Bobby, chrysanthemum is hard for me. Is that how you say it? Chrysanthemum? I can't even say that.
You got it right.
Robo mirror. You want a robotic mirror? Oh dear. What does? Here we go. Ed with that English accent should be in EastEnders behind the Queen Vic. What, me? I don't think I would fit EastEnders. I'm going to be honest. They all talk like that in EastEnders, don't they? It's all like Danny Dye, innit? There you go. Is it me or does Elon seem like he's going to be the world's first supervillain? Yeah, that's exactly what I think about Elon Musk. And Jeff Bezos. That's a good shout. Jeff Bezos even has that Lex Luthor look going on, doesn't he? No one has ever seen Jeff Bezos and Lex Luthor in the same place at the same time. You guys are right. You guys have got there before me. But yeah, we do have genuine real life super villains, I think, and Jeff Bezos is one of them. And I just don't trust Elon Musk. And Ed Lauder is too posh for EastEnders. Yeah, that's unfortunately what I was kind of thinking as well. I don't like to call myself posh, and I don't like it when people call me posh, but unfortunately,
You
I've just
secretly
got to...
love it. You secretly.
No, I really don't, because in all honesty, I just think I have an accent that comes from nowhere, and like there's no part of the UK where my accent is really from. If you heard me, you'd be like the South somewhere, but it's a very generic English accent. But it means that I can do anything in the UK accent-wise. There you go. I'm a chameleon. Okay, Dan, bring up Dan Plum's comment. Ed's posh spice Lauder. The funny thing about her, about Victoria Beckham, is she's not posh at all. I think that's probably hard. That's probably part of the joke. Is she's not posh. And thank you very much, Danzig. Yeah, took a long time to get rid of my French accent. What's next? Well, I've been trying to get us onto this, but the Flash season 9.
All right.
So this is the news that apparently the show's ending with a very short season 9. So how long are the episodes of the seasons generally? Is it like 20 episodes?
It used to be like 22 to 24, and then I think last season was something like 16. Like they got shorter.
So they have been gradually, yeah. And I think this season is probably going to be like maybe 12, between 8 to 12 episodes long. So actually quite short. And
why? Because he's going to be replacing Ezra.
Yeah, no, you said that, and I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason is it's got more to do with the fact that the CW is going to be bought up by somebody, and they want to get these shows done before that happens. Because, I mean, maybe the idea is to do something slightly different with a character moving forward, maybe doing something on HBO Max with The Flash. There might be one crossover left, really. Like I've been hearing a lot of rumors that Batwoman's been cancelled. So then that Batwoman and DC Legends of Tomorrow. So
it wouldn't surprise me if Legends of Tomorrow. That's been on for a long time. I stopped watching.
I actually think
after season 2.
Yeah, and I actually think Batwoman is pretty much nailed on as having been cancelled, because even Leslie Grace herself is going on Twitter saying with the hashtag Renew Batwoman, and it's like, Leslie, do you realize that hasn't actually been officially confirmed that Batwoman's been cancelled? So I think she kind of spilled the beans herself. But I mean, it's these shows.
As long I got it. I have a message to the CW or to WB.
What's the CW?
Yeah, but as long as they don't cancel Doom Patrol, that's fine. But you stay the hell away from Doom Patrol.
Well said, James. But the Doom Patrol's not the CW, isn't it? Doom Patrol.
No, but it's a DC property, and yeah, with the merger.
Yeah. So not Leslie Grace. Her last name is Leslie. Is it Javicia Leslie? Not Leslie Grace.
Yeah, you're right. Javicia.
Yeah, Javicia. I do get the names mixed up. And they play Batgirl and Batwoman. But it's that's definitely something that I think is correct. That show's been cancelled. DC Legends of Tomorrow hasn't been officially cancelled yet, but hasn't been renewed either. And then the only one that they got the Flash going, and I think that's it as far as the DC shows on the CW is concerned.
We lost two viewers after my solo lit close up.
I think it's because of that. But wait, let me look at CW DC comic shows. Are they still doing the Naomi? Is that still going on? They got suit. Naomi's not limited series. They just did the first season, and they want to do the second season, but that wasn't officially greenlit. So they had Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Superman, and Lois. And then they also had Constantine, didn't they? Which was kind of short-lived. But
it got merged into Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
I used to
and
watch
the only
them
one,
all, and then like I haven't watched any of them for like 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, me too. There was so much, and I think I think it was like when Supergirl kind of merged when it became part of the CW. That's the point where I just stopped because it got too much for me.
It got good, and then
apparently,
it
got
really lame and dry, like the teenage drama. So.
But now the only ones that are going on now officially that haven't been cancelled are The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Batwoman, and Superman and Lois. Now, Superman and Lois and Flash have both been renewed. So Superman and Lois season 3 is happening, and The Flash season 9 is definitely happening. Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow, there's been nothing about those two shows. So I'm pretty certain that those shows have been cancelled. They cancelled Black Lightning, which I thought was a bit shocking actually, because I thought that was actually quite a good show. But they ended up cancelling that. Arrow, of course, ended. So I think they're trying to wrap up all these shows. I think they want to wrap them up before they sell the CW, which I think is perfectly fine, because these shows have now been going on for such a long time. Yeah. Like the Flash is literally like they started back in 2012 with Arrow. So, you go 2012 to 2022, that's your 10 years. It's a long run for these shows. They've done pretty well out of them. And Batwoman, I watched the first season and I thought I was a bit like, this isn't for me. This isn't my show. I think The Flash, there was a point, I think like season 6.
Yeah.
Was the last one that I watched, and I just thought I really like Grant Gustin, I like his Barry Allen, but once they started trying to make him evil, I was a bit like,
halfway through season 6, I stopped watching, and then people said, and then like the crossover was coming, so I binged season 6, got through all that to watch the crossover, and then someone spoiled on Twitter like what happened with the season premiere of season 7 on The Flash. Like instantly. Dat boy Steve, if you're in the chat watching, thanks for that. And it was like 5 minutes after the episode premiered, and I was just like, oh yeah, okay, well I don't need to watch it anymore, and I haven't gone back since. So but the leaked pic of Tom Cavanagh in the new suit has a DCU Flash lightning bolt. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. But I mean, it's just a lightning bolt. It could be like anything. But I mean, that's the one reason why I kept watching The Flash, is because I really liked Tom Cavanagh's character, or as an actor, and his characters he played, and like they kept killing him. Like it was like an ongoing joke that he kept dying in like every season. But I don't know. It would have been nice if they just kept him around longer as a certain character for a while, or even the Council of what is it? Council of whatever. Someone help me in the chat.
The Council of Wells.
So long. Of Wells, yeah, that's it. So, but
honestly,
Raj,
go on.
Oh, Raj has. Go ahead. You say first before I move to the next comment.
Well, I was going to say that they never really managed. I think season 1 of The Flash was peak Flash for me. Like the whole thing with Harrison Wells and that, and that reveal that he was Reverse Flash. I was like, oh, that's so good. Like that really had me going. And then the Arrow first couple of seasons were really good as well. But then the stuff after that, it never really grabbed me. I felt like it was more like I felt like I had to watch it as opposed to I wanted to watch it.
Yeah. See, someone told me I stopped in Arrow like mid season 2, and then someone said, no, you got to finish it. It gets so good. And so I did binge, and it did get really, really good. And The Flash, I think, peaked for me was when they brought in King Shark and Gorilla Grodd. That was great. Yeah. King Shark looked good. When they were, really, really trying. But Raj, personal opinion, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and most CW painted themselves into a corner. You can only maintain quality for so long when you have 20 plus episodes per season. That's exactly right. That's why they pad out so much stuff with the teenage drama. But that's also their demographic too.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, literally, this is really made for people that were massive fans of Smallville, like these shows, and it's kind of the continuation of that. I do think like the Flash and Arrow is better than what Smallville was. For me, I grew up with Smallville. I loved it, but I was quite young at the time, so I think it skews more for a younger audience as well, a more teen audience. It's like Riverdale, you know. It's the same. It's the same demographic that the CW goes for, and it's fine. You know, it's that's their goal, and that's what it's made. That's the type of audience it's made for.
But now, like with the production budget and the writing and stuff for Superman and Lois, that's a different story. But I mean, Smallville kind of fell off after a couple seasons, and I picked it up.
Yeah, it really did.
5, you know, season 5 was good, and they brought in the Justice League and stuff. So, but Clint's got a comment here.
Grant Gustin is going to be hanging out with Michael Keaton on the set of Justice League 2. David Zaslav said, "Clint's just stirring the pot, man." Oh dear, but it's like I get a lot. I've been getting a lot of flack about the Flash because, like, I'm going to put my hands in the air and say that we got it wrong with we posted an article that I was told that the season 8 was going to be the last season. That was not the case. I got that wrong.
Maybe that's where the negotiations were at that point, because isn't Grant Gustin getting like $250,000 an episode now?
He's getting 200 an episode for the final season.
Yeah, so and probably paid him a bunch of money. So
I think there was probably a point. There was probably a point where they were thinking of just ending it there, but also I think a lot of it has to do with the selling of the CW, and I really do think Warner Brothers thought they'd sell it off earlier. I think it's like a random kind of local network that's looking to buy it for not very much money. Which means I can't remember the name of the network. I did look it up a while ago, but it basically means Nexstar. That's it. They're the ones that are looking at buying it, and they're like really local TV in America. And if that's the case, then I think it makes sense. But then I also think that Warner Brothers, and especially with the news that we've heard recently about what's going on with DC Entertainment and the fact they want to bring in all the properties, all the DC properties under one umbrella, which James coined DC Studios, which I think they really should call it. But then I
didn't coin it. I didn't coin it. I just heard it and ran with it. I think like 1 billion people coined it at the same time when they heard that stuff.
But they won't call it DC Studios, but it's really what it would be. I mean, I think they should, but they won't.
Chrisla, have a safe drive. Thanks for listening on your drive, and have a good class.
Yes, do have a good class.
Happy Easter weekend.
Eat lots of chocolate. It's the one weekend where you can eat chocolate and not feel bad. You always feel bad afterwards, but honestly, I think it's been a really good run. I think people have got to look at this more as a celebration of these shows rather than a sad thing that it's ending. It's like it's like how many shows have managed to get up to 9 seasons? It's a very, very select group. I can, off the top of my head, I can think of Friends got 10 seasons, which was ridiculous. Doctor Who's still going.
Yeah, it's the longest running sci-fi.
Yes, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm pretty sure some of the Smallville got 10. How many did the OC get?
I've never watched the OC.
See, that was my childhood. That was the OC and Smallville. That's what we used to watch, and Friends.
Law and Order. SVU.
Law and Order, yeah. But it's
I
a very
call it
select
Law and Order SUV.
Yes, but Supernatural I think had quite a few seasons, didn't it, before that ended?
Oh yeah.
But this is the thing. It's like we've seen a lot of CW shows really like they've just been ending all of them, and then they're gonna take, and as I was saying before, they're gonna take all of these DC properties and just have them under one umbrella, and probably all these future shows will just be going out on HBO Max, which makes a heck of a lot more sense than shipping them out to a network like the CW. And the CW will probably stick to doing more teenage drama stuff and won't be touching the DC stuff in the future.
Most
So,
likely.
yeah.
And if
So-
Nexstar does buy it, I mean, they have 200 broadcast stations all throughout America. Right?
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of like what the CW does, is they license out their programs to other networks.
Yeah.
So that would completely make a lot of sense.
It would make a lot of sense. And I think that's probably the best way to go for everybody. Like, hopefully the CW will find new, like, some sort of, like, future properties to develop, that maybe develop some original IP as well. And they can start doing that, and they can start kind of forgetting a bit about the DC comic stuff, which might be a bit of a blessing in disguise, really, because the DC comic stuff is kind of is propped them up now for 10 years. But it's probably good to start thinking about doing something new, and then we can start.
Max, you know.
Yeah, and all these shows should be on HBO Max.
Yeah,
they should all just be on HBO Max, and HBO Max should be available worldwide. Like, it's ridiculous that in different areas of the world, it's like over here, The Flash up to season 7 is on Netflix, whereas I think it's like that in the UK, but in other parts of the world, you'll probably find it on Amazon Prime, or it's just all a big mess. And I think it's better for kind of also for brand recognition. If you have like look what Disney does. Like, you go to Disney Plus, you've got Marvel, you've got Star Wars. It's all very it's all very ordered. And me being OCD, I love that. So imagine if you head on over to HBO Max, you have the DC properties, you have the Harry Potter properties, you have whatever other franchise they have. They have loads of franchises, but so that sort of thing. And I think it would work a lot better than what they're doing now.
Esteban makes a good point. He goes, the CW should like freeform for Disney. Hey, welcome, Esteban. Thanks for tuning in. And then he goes, then again, it should probably be where cheap show young directors go before they go to HBO Max, sort of an NCAA for the NFL. Yeah, it's kind of like what Disney does with their kids programs and like all their wizard programs and stuff. The directors start there and the actors start there, and then they move on to bigger things. So
yeah. And Dan brings out the point is that in England it's the CW shows on Sky, which is
and in Canada,
in France
on Space and CTV.
You see, it just doesn't. Yeah, CTV. I remember. Yeah, CTV is always when I downloaded the rips. It was always
the watermark.
Yeah, the watermark was the one. I was like, what is this thing? But well, just because that's what they do, they franchise it out. I guess like Warner Brothers has always had like a weird way of distributing their content to different networks, and then that's why all the rights are tied up in UK and in other territories. I guess they'd have to spend a lot of money that they don't have to get all the distribution rights figured out. So. Yeah, which is why HBO Max is only available in some random territories as well. I looked it up the other day, and I was like, because if you're in the Netherlands, you can have, and Spain for some reason they have HBO Max in Spain, and I'm just like, what have they done? Why is it like so specific? Like, some areas just don't, like over here in France,
because they have existing deals, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they had, and it was kind of stupid what they did. Like, because I was like, why did they give them such long contracts? Well, they should have just had rolling yearly. It's like you don't get a it's like a contract with an engagement of a certain period of time. It's like you should just have a rolling contract, and then you should be able to get out of it like after the year.
Well, and be like, it's optioning, but like Fox had a deal with TBS, the television station, to play all the Star Wars movies. And then when Disney bought them, they either bought them out or the contract ended. I can't remember. Right. And Disney had a lot of untangling to do too when they bought Fox and when they launched Disney Plus. Probably cost them a lot of money to get all the distribution rights. And then, they finally just got the Netflix shows back. I think, what was it? Peacock paid a lot of money for Seinfeld. Or The Office. It was The Office. Peacock paid a lot of money to Netflix for The Office to get it back from Netflix, and HBO Max paid a lot of money to get Friends back from Netflix as well.
In certain territories, because Friends is still on Netflix in everywhere. I think apart, it's definitely still on Netflix in France.
Yeah, I think it is on Canada too.
Yeah, because that's what we watch. We now watch my wife and I are now watching Cougar Town, which is not. It's not great.
I thought you said it was
It's pretty.
last week.
It's fun to watch if you're a Friends fan, mainly just because I love Courtney Cox and I'll watch anything with Courtney Cox in it. I literally just watched recently watched the Scream movies over again. I think she's great in them. I think she's fantastic. I love Courtney Cox. Yeah. But in America, Friends is on HBO Max, but over here it's on Netflix. We still got it. Right.
Is that true that Sky makes them 25 frames per second instead of 24? You guys talked about this a while ago.
Yes. Yeah. It is true. That is true.
That's nuts.
And they sound.
It's not a PAL thing. It's not NTSC to PAL thing.
I really don't get why they do that. There's a lot of weird shit that happens in the UK with things like that. It is slightly faster. It's very strange. I don't know why they do it. It must be. Maybe it might have something to do with like the satellite broadcast or something. I don't know. I really don't know why they do that. It sounds sped up. Yeah,
that's weird.
Strange. Right. Moving on. Who else? Should we have a look at what people are saying in the chat? It's like the beginning. So Bakerstown says it's like the beginning of the mobile revolution when you could watch certain movies on your TV but not on your phone, and vice versa. Yeah, it's a lot like that. Yeah, it's a lot. Go on.
No, go ahead. Are you expanding on
a lot? Well, no, I was just saying that a lot. It still happens now from time to time. Like and subscribe. Do it now. It's one of the things that I've been struggling with recently is Apple TV. I really it pisses me the hell off because what I'm doing is I'll put my movies onto my laptop, so my Mac laptop, and I want to watch them on the TV, but I can't because the app doesn't store it doesn't store the movies that you have on your library in Apple TV that you've put into Apple TV. All it does is just an app, and all it does is show you the movies that you've bought or you've rented, or that are available through Apple TV.
Kind of really like YouTube, unless you download it.
Yeah, it really annoys me. It annoys me so much. Well, and apparently the only way you can get around that is if you buy an Apple TV, like the actual box thing.
Oh,
and that's the only way you can get around it. Yeah.
I want to ask. The Huber experience. So is it the Huber experience, Bob, or is it the Huber experience? Please let us know in the chat if it's Huber or Huber.
Huber.
Yeah, and the OC only had 4 seasons.
Yeah, it got really bad when, weirdly enough, when Marissa dies, or Marissa, isn't it? The name of her character, I've forgotten. The most annoying character, she dies. They get shit when she dies.
Bobby says her guilty pleasures, Gilmore Girls, and anything they are in now. Listen, Gilmore Girls is a great series. The writing and the delivery of all that dialogue they do, and the timing, and then the way they direct it and edit it all together, it's a masterpiece. Like, you don't see anything like that on television. It's got its own flow. It's got its own rhythm. I don't know if you ever watched Gilmore Girls, Edward, or if you've seen clips of it, but the way they speak and the dialogue, the timing is great.
So I always get mixed up between two shows. There's Gilmore Girls, and then there's another show that I always... Was there one of them that came back recently that was brought back? Was it Gilmore Girls?
How much? Yeah, it was. How much longer before cable becomes a new old antenna TV? It already is, Esteban.
It already is.
Danzig, thank you for the super chat. Smash that like button and subscribe.
Do it now.
Danzig.
Do it.
Pick a meme. Pick a couple memes.
Gossip Girl was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, it was Gossip Girl was the other show I was thinking of. So Gilmore Girls
is a good show too, Bobby. Weeds is a great show as well. Yeah.
Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls is the one that came back recently, isn't it? They had like a one season. That's the only thing that I watched, and I thought that was horrific. Like, it's on Netflix. I just thought it just sounded so weird. Like, it didn't sound like normal people talking. It just sounded very forced, and it was all in this very fake American town.
Yeah.
Where I was that because Alessia really loves Gilmore Girls. That's one of her.
Oh,
her
were you
favorite.
saying it seemed like a fake American town?
Yeah. Well, it just didn't
it's shot
feel.
in Canada. Tom Cavanaugh's in it. Actually, no, that was the show Ed, which was actually good, and I wish it got more than one season. But I mean, all the shows you watch, 90% of them are not filmed
in Canada.
They're filmed in Canada, yeah.
Cocainum.
Thank you, Danzig.
Well done. Thank you. But there are a lot of shows. There were a lot of shows made like that in like the early 2000s. Like I remember there was Dawson. Was it? Well, no, Dawson's Creek was like mid 90s, wasn't it? Kind of or late 90s. Yeah. That was a show that got that was a show that I never really got into. One Tree Hill was another one as well that people seem to love.
You didn't like Pacey?
Pacey, I don't. No,
that's one of the characters from Dawson's Creek. I know, I never.
No,
watched it.
I literally never watched Dawson's Creek.
He was in one of those Wes Craven horror movies. I think it was like I Know What You Did Last Summer or one of those. And like
the really bad one
in the theater, and then like everyone was like Pacey. In the theater.
Pacey. Oh no, Joshua Jackson. He was in Fringe, wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah,
Joshua Jackson. Yeah, he's good in Fringe. And then James Van Der Beek, which the thing that he was in that I really liked was Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 or something, whatever that was called. That was the one with the actress from Jessica Jones. I've forgotten her name now.
Пошли, все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства? Cocainum.
Just remembered her name, Kristen Ritter. That was the show that she was in. It was really good. That got cancelled way too early. But yeah, it's like I do feel that in a weird way, the CW is still like harking back to some of those shows. Like I still feel like there's a similar vibe with the stuff they make to those shows. Whereas now we're seeing like Peacemaker so different, and like Doom Patrol. You know, even Titans to a certain extent is trying to be, but I think that just feels too forced. But I think the future of DC Comics TV is going to be really interesting because you've got whatever the hell like Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams are doing. Like I don't know if we're ever going to see those shows come to light. Like
I don't think anything's going to happen out of Bad Robot, to be honest with you.
I think he's made so much money out of this, and he's done nothing. They've done nothing. Like honestly, it kind of shocks me sometimes when I think about it. It's like they signed that deal. Like was it 2018? They signed that deal with Warner Media, and they still haven't produced anything. Like I know there was a pandemic, but I mean we're only just now hearing about the Superman reboot that J.J. Abrams is doing with. I always forget his name. The Ta-Nehisi Coates, is that his name? Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah,
and he's the I think he's like a political journalist, isn't he, or like a journalist that's writing a Superman script, the first script he's ever written for a movie.
Wow,
and that's it's a Superman movie. And it's like, wow, okay, this is interesting. Hopefully this will be really, really good. And this is something that they're producing with supposedly J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot. The beginning of the week, I think it was revealed that script's almost finished. So there's that. Then there's the Green Lantern show. Then there's supposed to be a Justice League Dark show. And they're supposed to spin off from that a Constantine show. But it's like, we haven't had anything about these shows. Literally nothing. So weird. And then on top of all of that, we've got the Sandman show, which is coming to Netflix.
Yeah,
that really puzzled me. Puzzled me.
These distribution choices that they do, and I think it's because they're so much in debt that it's costs less to do that. So we got Huber. You're right, James. It's Huber, like Hugh. That's the only way I can think of writing it.
That's good. Yeah, Huber, the Huber experience.
JJ took his 500 million ran.
Literally, he did.
Maybe J.J. Abrams will be our first supervillain. Maybe he is already.
I've spoken to J.J. Abrams, and he is bonkers. Like I did a press thing for what was the Cloverfield movie that ended up going out straight to Netflix that was really bad. The Cloverfield Paradox. No, 10 Cloverfield Lane was really good. That was the Dan Trachtenberg film, which was really, really good.
I liked it.
And then they did the Cloverfield Paradox. That was the movie that was awful. But we were invited to
without any fanfare or advertising. I remember that.
But it did really well. It actually did really well for Netflix because what they did was it was Paramount, and Paramount just sold it to Netflix for basically nothing. I think they sold it to them for like 20 million. And Netflix made a shit ton of money out of that because Paramount also paid for the ad spot at the
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I was like, what? They did that as well? So they actually paid for the distribution of the movie.
They dropped that movie live right after the Super Bowl. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Esteban says, does his contract void or they have to pay him for things that never materialized? I've been thinking about this.
We can't answer that.
I think it's like I don't think he has a pay or play contract, to be honest with you. I don't think they would give him a $500 million pay or play contract where if he didn't produce anything, he could just walk away. I think there's probably stipulations where it's like, here's $500 million, and this is what we expect to you, and you have to make these goals for us and hit these milestones. I think he's probably making money from it, or has they probably gave him a retainer or something, but he probably doesn't have to give any of that back. He probably has to produce or executive produce at least a couple things, which he can do. He doesn't necessarily have to direct anything, and that's probably the gist of it. But I really doubt they gave him a pay or play kind of deal for $500 million. Like Warner Brothers did for Nick Cage Superman. They gave Tim Burton $10 million pay or play. So if nothing happened, he could just walk away with $10 million.
Yeah.
We'll get through some of these comments, and then we'll bring in our esteemed colleague. DC never acknowledged their Elseworld stuff enough. Yeah,
no,
that's true. They started doing the animated series though.
Yeah, but they don't. They should really start doing that. They should. One of the things I really thought they should do is do a black label, like they do R-rated movies like Joker and the Batman films as well, and they could have those all under a black label banner, and just have those as the Elseworld things, and then have the main stuff, which would be the shows and the movies that would tie into the shows, and that basically would mean you'd get the best of both worlds. Because you'd be able to get the films like The Batman 2, Joker 2, whatever else they want to make crazy stuff like Justice League Dark, for instance, and they could have that under the black label banner. And then they could do their main. They could carry on with Shazam, with Black Adam, they could bring back Zack Snyder to do some Justice League stuff, and I don't really see the problem in doing that.
And they may do that. Depends on what happens in the Flash film with the multiverse.
Yeah,
so it's probably the way it's going. Maybe it is common sense. It's like last week and the week before, me, and Clint were talking about what happens after the merger. It's like they're going to restructure. They'll find like a Kevin Feige head, or hopefully, and they're going to try and put out small to medium-sized budget films like the Joker.
Yeah.
That's common sense. And then the Variety article came out. And then that's exactly what they said. So, and it looks like they're going to like a down to earth, back to basics kind of common sense route, which is good to hear. JJ could always say that they use his ideas in the long run and get points,
which he does all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think he would get residuals, to be honest with you, unless it's something that he worked on. He can always just walk around like parties and say, "Hey, that was my idea they used." Kind of like William Goldsmith always walks around parties and says, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon didn't write the Good Will Hunting. I was the one who wrote it. They just came to me with the story. but he's signed a contract. He's not supposed to say that publicly. All right. Are you done my rant? It's all good?
Yeah.
Who's gonna be in Doctor Strange 2?
Hey!
How you
What's
doing?
happening, gang?
How you doing, Clint?
Nothing.
I'm doing
Talking
great. How
about
you guys
DC.
doing?
Yeah, we're good. We brought you in for the main topic, the main event, which we were
Edward,
teasing up earlier.
the main event is that shirt you're wearing. That's a quality shirt right there.
Thank you. I got it in Berlin. Yeah, in
It's nice.
Deutschland, in Berlin.
How you doing,
It's
James?
by the dudes.
I'm here,
James,
man. I'm doing
Edward?
good. I'm here. Yeah.
Chat gang, I've been in the car for 3 hours speeding to get here. It's like I gotta get to the stream. I was at my mom's house and I'm here. But yeah, man, I'm glad to be here. I've been listening excitedly in the car ride.
Awesome. Thank you, Clint. Well,
Did you drive safe?
Did I drive what?
He said he's speeding.
Speedingly, and I've been chiming in the whole time, but nobody could hear what I was saying. I got no applaud. I'm like at a stoplight. I'm like, where's my applaud? Where's my applause? This is ridiculous. I needed that. Yeah, that was for my my Grant Gustin is going to be in the Justice League 2. Zaslav said. He said. So man, I told you guys, Zaslav's coming in. He's gonna change the future. It's happening.
What's up, Bat Channel? Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Clint in the house. Sean.
Yes, he is.
Danzig.
Yes, he
Hey,
is.
Clint.
Sean Hedigan.
Okay, well, actually, yeah, Bakertown has a good. Clint, you made it back in 3 hours. You were definitely speeding. This is a good question.
Yes,
yeah, if you could pick that Kevin Feige, who would you pick besides yourself? Of course.
There's oh man, there's not a person that you could pick to do this job the same as Kevin Feige. It's impossible. Like I think Kevin Feige is a fluke. I was reading before I started looking and I was looking at Kevin Feige's resume, and anybody who knows his story. Yeah, he started in film school and ended up going to work for Richard Donner, when he was going to film school. And he, his first production credit is producing credit is X-Men in 2002. Like this guy, before he was heading anything, he was paving the way and also failing at comic book movies. He's been failing and winning, and they're not his failures. They were his learning experiences at other people's expense, or credit, so he event of comic book movies. He's watched it and worked with people and under people that were doing this. And then he ended up in a place where he was making these movies himself. And so he understands it. I think to be in charge of a universe and to have started it off with the background that he had, and it worked. He could have failed, like when they made Iron Man. It could have turned out bad, and maybe maybe he wouldn't be where he is today. But he happened to hit a home run with that, and they kept doing what they did. It's like a guy. It's like the Chili Peppers writing the same song over and over. They got a hit song, and every song has the same flavor. California. He did that. He hit a home run with Iron Man, and he's like, okay, this is how you make a comic book movie. And then he gets a little bit brave sometimes, and sometimes they don't do quite as well. You gotta think, okay, is that because that character's not as cool, or is it because I got a little experimental? There's a little wiggle room to make something interesting where everything's not exactly the same, but they're all exactly the same, but they're also entertaining and different, with different actors and different charisma and different elements that make them different, yet they're all the same. And so to find somebody with that wisdom, I don't know that you're going to find it.
And he knows the source material too.
And he knows, he's a super nerd. Now, on top of that, but I can tell you, as a creative myself, and having record deals and from my own experiences, and they translate into movie making, in especially my personal journey. I hate that phrase, but as an artist, as an unproven artist, you know, I got lucky and had a mild radio hit, and then I got a second record that didn't do much, and my career was over in music. And so you're gonna get somebody who's supposed to come in and be a Kevin Feige. Like, the first time they screw up, because this isn't just a bunch of nerds with a GoFundMe with a bunch of money that are going to do nerd stuff that's cool. This is a bunch of penny pinching execs and numbers and stuff. So the first time the new Kevin Feige screws up, they're going to have a knee-jerk reaction, and they're going to like doubt him, and the shareholders are going to possibly doubt him, and they're going to change course. You know what? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. And man, Thor: Love and Thunder just broke $2 billion. That's the first comic book movie to ever do that. Let's do what they just did and switch our course, instead of like saying, hey, we're going to do a 10-year plan to do this thing. I feel like, as much as David Zaslav is like saying the right stuff right now and giving people hope and giving me hope too, I want him to win. I want whoever ends up in the new seat to be successful. But I do know how shareholders and people who are not in it for the art, they're in it for the money, look at things. And the first time there's a failure, I feel like they're going to change course, because they're not going to have the decade or the 20 years of Marvel successes. You know what I mean? And go ahead.
Yeah, but going from the previous track record of WB, I agree. They did it with Jeff Johns.
That's their problem.
They did it with Zack Snyder. You know, they did it with Kevin Tsuchira and then Hamada, Hamada's still there, but you know. But what I'm saying is, like, their previous track record, but maybe Discovery has a different feel for that, because they've seen it that's not a good way to do a knee-jerk reaction, you know. So who knows, like, to be hopeful that way. But you're exactly right. You can't find someone who's a Feige that knows the complete source material and who knows the production and how to get like a lot of butts and seats, unless like the one I can think of is Kevin Smith. But as long as he didn't, like, he's like, I like his movies, but they're not like super action superhero movies. But if he corralled some good directors behind him and he produced them and he mapped the outline and stuff, I could see in a production way, because he's pretty frugal and he knows all the source material. You team him up with someone that's like super creative visually, and then I think you're good. So
yeah,
Kevin Smith wouldn't be able to keep his mouth shut. That's the problem with Kevin.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
If they let him do the like, they got to make a long plan and like build this thing. And what they're probably going to do is make one home run and then build the plan. But like
Berlanti. Greg Berlanti, he's got a proven track record at the CW
People hate
shows.
him though.
I know, because they hate him because he's doing the TV shows, right?
And he's good at branching out. I mean, honestly, if you let him quarterback and pick the directors that make stuff look better than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, if you get like some really like good looking movies, but you let him talk about how they're going to cross over and expand, he really has done a good job with that.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Edward.
Well, no, you're right, and I would be interested to see if they were to put someone like Berlanti in charge. I personally don't think he'd be the right person, because I actually think I think they might do a massive big play for Kevin Feige himself, because I'm pretty sure he would be interested. Because really, how much longer can the MCU go on for, like, the way it is? Like, he's done everything he wanted to do. I think Feige would be interested in heading up DC. I think he would. If they set up a DC Studios and they offer him a shit ton of money, and they're like, you have carte blanche to do whatever you want with this universe. We're completely rebooting it. We're gonna, you know, I see he is such a massive fan of just like the comic book world in general, he would want to be able to, like, the first thing he did when James Gunn said he was directing a DC Comics movie, he was like, "Are you doing Superman? Please tell me you're doing Superman." He just wants these films to be as good as possible.
I can tell you
And
exactly why he
it's
wouldn't
a
take
challenge.
it.
Why?
Well, first, he's probably tired. He's doing this for over 10 years with Marvel, and he's stretched thin, and he's had to get some help to help run the MCU, right? I mean, that's a Michael Waldron and then all the other people underneath him. His time is very limited to what he's working on. He's got a Star Wars movie in the works that we haven't heard anything about.
If that ever gets made.
Right. But if he was going to go anywhere, I think he would go and shepherd the Star Wars universe with Kathleen Kennedy, you know? And I also don't think that, like, I think when it comes time to leave the MCU, he'll probably go off and do a couple movies of his own, you know? Just
maybe.
see what he wants to make, maybe like make his own Goonies and like the movies that like he tries to emulate throughout the MCU. But I just think he's already done like the whole 10-year superhero journey, huge interconnecting films. I don't think he would take DC's. I mean, I think it would be cool, but I honestly don't think he would take DC's offer to shepherd the DC Universe films. I honestly don't think so, because he's admitted, and people admit in interviews that like he's super tired, you know, or he's stretched thin, right? And to go through that again 10 years later, from a company that has been having a troubled track record the last 5-7 years and however long, bless you. And like DC has Warner Brothers is notorious for the way they treat their talent and their contract deals. And we're not talking like the last 10 years. We're talking like from the 70s with their musicians too. So I don't see Kevin Feige taking that position unless he had carte blanche and like he reported directly to Zaslav and he could do whatever the hell he wanted, you know. Or by the time they approach, if say in this fantasy world that Kevin Feige does join, it might not even be Zaslav at that time, right? But I just don't think he would.
It is interesting that you say that, because that article in Variety did say they're talking about putting DC as a solo thing. So it would be whoever's in charge of that reporting straight to Zaslav. You know what I mean? Like there is no more Warner Brother so we can like cut Warner Brothers out of the conversation and just talk about Zaslav and the new head of DC.
Yeah, but I still don't think Feige would take it, because he's not done with Marvel yet, right?
I agree, and it's blasphemy to even say that, but it is an interesting thought. Like the more Bob Chapek screws everything up, like you got to think, like, is he starting to? How many of his golf buddies has he put between himself and Kevin Feige to where Feige just finally says, you know what, hell with this, dude. Here's my plan to the guy that I just had take over the new animation studio. You want to just finish this? Here's my plan. I'm gonna fax you a PDF. I'm gonna email you a PDF, and you I'm gonna go over to DC. They just offered me 4 times this. You know,
that's not what I thought you were gonna say. If I thought you were gonna say like Feige becomes Disney CEO, takes over Chapek's position.
I mean, I'd rather see that happen. You know,
I could see that happening. I could totally see that happening. And then he'd be able to he would be able to have input on Star Wars, and he'd be able to input on Marvel, you know. And then he'd probably hire someone to head the theme parks, the merchandising and stuff, and he'd focus on the content.
Well, I had 3 hours to daydream about it, you know, and I was thinking about what like DC has done right and wrong, and trying to think about that. Hold on, I gotta fix my sound here. Okay, there we go. And like thinking about it, and I was like, you know. And I was thinking about how the bean counters will have knee-jerk reactions to failures, or like a low box office or a bad quarterly, you know, thing. And I was trying to think, like, how could they have done it different? You know what I mean? Like if maybe I was thinking about, like, okay, if I was the new guy, if I was Zaslav and I was looking at this thing, I would say, okay, let me look at the whole DC thing. And what am I looking at? Okay, this movie did poorly. This one did well. Why we should do what Wonder Woman did, because that was a hit and Aquaman was a hit. And I'm like, okay, and this did okay. Why did Batman versus Superman like not do so well? What's the problem with this character? And like, there's different things, and I think they could have done a lot of things where they could have fixed it. Like Superman, I love Henry Cavill's Superman, but they could have said, okay, we're going to keep the brooding for Batman, and let's have Superman be a little more upbeat like Wonder Woman is. And they could have had him deal with some of his inner turmoil and come to terms with things. And like, you know, the first two movies he was in, he was a little bit dark. Let's make him a little bit more like Christopher Reeve Superman. You don't have to go too far. And you also can have him be the straight man and have Lois Lane be a little more wacky and make for a fun, upbeat movie. Because people don't just go for the characters. They also like the actor. It's the charisma of the main character. You like Indiana Jones because you love Harrison Ford. You love Wonder Woman because you love Gal Gadot. You love Aquaman because you like my man. You know what I mean? Like, you like the charisma, and Superman's character is very, very calm. My man. Yeah, the Snyder version of Superman is very calm and not quite as outgoing. And so you could build to that, though. You know what I mean? You could build him up a little bit more, like, you know, stops.
Wow. What can I say?
Gets the cat out of the tree. You know what I mean? It's like Snyder's version was very, very serious and dark. And it's like, yeah, it's an alien who's on Earth and, you know, whatever. But I think they could have looked at this and they could have repaired the DC they had. Like, they could have made adjustments, but instead they just say, you know what? You know, instead of making the third Superman movie be something where he's a little more, let's have him be a little more outgoing. Instead of doing something like that, they just decide not to do they're like, we're going to put that on the back burner and focus on these other things. And it's like, they could have done something. They could have made this thing go, like, blow up. But now what are they going to do? I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to reboot the whole thing. And it makes me sad because there's some great things. And I love the Snyderverse, and there's some great things going on with what they have there. But now it's so much time of them not fixing things or massaging things just to make it better, you know? I don't know.
Take a breath, Clint.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Like, do you think that they gave up on like Superman? They mentioned that in the article. They're like, you know, we're not doing much with Superman. I feel like they gave up on the Henry Cavill Superman, didn't give him the chance. I think that could have been the best Superman ever. Some people think he is the best Superman ever, you know? But what do you guys think about that?
You can go, James.
No, I'm good.
Well, what they said in the article was that they were looking at particular all things Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, saying that those characters had been kind of forgotten about, which I completely disagree with. Like, I think there's been too much, if anything, of those three characters. Like, that they're going to do an overhaul of all those guys. Like, I genuinely think they got Superman wrong, and I think it was an interesting take to begin with, but you're right, it became very labored as the films went on. And it's not a slight on Henry Cavill, because Henry Cavill's just doing what he's told to do. I just honestly think that Zack Snyder doesn't understand the character of Superman. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think he understands him. I think he thinks of him as a god, and that's it. An alien that's also a god. Whereas one of the things that makes Superman such an interesting character in the comics is actually he epitomizes humanity, and even though he's an alien, which is why he's interesting. But
I agree. I think though that, like, the journey was taking too long to get to where you wanted to see Superman. And that's why you feel that way, because it was very early days. Which, I mean, when you don't have a Superman movie for however long, since since Superman Returns, and that was kind of a dud, you kind of want to come out strong with, this is what Superman is, this is what he emulates.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're talking about.
I do think there's a lot of good in Man of Steel, like a lot of good, but I think it loses its way towards the end, and it becomes things happen that it's like, come on, like, you're gonna, and then if anything, Warner Brothers was way too reactionary after that by saying, okay, well, we destroyed Metropolis in Man of Steel, so now we're going to make it a very, very, like, just shoehorned in reference in every movie after that to say, oh no, it's fine, this area of the city is completely abandoned now, or it's no longer work time, therefore no one is in these buildings, as if no one works after hours in any city in the world. But it's, you know, and it's stuff like that has made some of these movies rather easy to critique. And it's decisions like that have been, Warner Brothers has been just way too reactionary. And then you look at Wonder Woman. Like, I do like Wonder Woman. I like Gal Gadot's version of Wonder Woman, the character. But then Wonder Woman 1984 was such a dumpster fire of a movie that it kind of ruined that character. So they are going to have to reboot that character in a certain way, which they have been doing with Batman. And if anything, for me, looking at Matt Reeves as the Batman, that is the sort of film that I think Warner Brothers should be looking to emulate, which is why they shouldn't be trying to emulate the MCU, because the MCU is its own thing. The MCU has its own. They are trying to change the tone. Interestingly enough, the MCU is trying to change their tone, trying to make it a bit darker, a bit more grown up. You're looking at stuff that's going on with Moon Knight. You know, you've got Blade that's coming. You've got Deadpool that's coming into the MCU. So that's starting to change. So if anything, Warner Brothers is basically already there. They've got the Batman. They should be looking at doing more stuff like that. More like, even though I'm not a massive fan of Joker, I didn't think Joker was a particularly good film, but people loved it. You know, you're each to their own. But I do think exploring, like, Warner Brothers has always been about filmmakers first, and I do think that's really important with these comic book movies, because as I said it in the article here, I was like, some of the films that Warner Brothers have made over the past, like comic book movies over the past like 10 years, have been some of the best comic book movies ever made. Like, really, they have. They've also made some of the worst, but they've also made some of the best. It's been a real mixed bag. And I do think bringing everything together under one studio, like a DC Studios, is the right way to go, because they would have more vision, they would have more control, and I think overall that would end up with them producing much better films. So I'm hoping that this actually happens. I think that Zaslav's saying all the right things. Discovery said they're at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, they are doing all the right things, and I hope it continues. I never got one before.
You've never gotten applause?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
I don't think they need to abandon, like, reboot Wonder Woman because of 1984. And it's almost that's kind of was almost what I was thinking about, like with Superman. Like, all you got to do is put another one out the way you want it. People will forget about the crappy one. You know what I mean? Like, that's easy. Like, yeah, okay, I saw Stranger Things 2, and I liked the 80s references. Ooh, boy, that was fun. Do we need to put that in a Wonder Woman movie? No, we don't need to do that. Okay, okay. Remember New Coke? That's fun. Okay, cool. Keep that out of my Wonder Woman movies. I don't need that. And all they got to do is just put another one out that's closer to the first one, and be awesome. If they made a Wonder Woman movie out of what was in the Snyder cut of Justice League, Wonder Woman was badass in the Snyder cut. The bank scene, like, that's in fact, they shouldn't get Zack Snyder to do another Wonder Woman movie, because the way she handled the bad guys in the bank scene was awesome. I was like, that's my Wonder Woman. That's what I want to see. That would be so cool. But yeah, that's all they got to do is just work, like, past the failures. If they fail a little bit, keep going. That's what they used to do with the recording artists. Again, not to get back to music all the time, but like back in the old days, now they just would throw out an artist, and if they had a hit, cool. Then if they didn't, if they flopped, they get rid of them and move on. And that's what bean counters do. But back in the old days, you'd have people like, okay, we're gonna put out a Ray Charles record, and it might take like 5 records before they make a hit, you know, and then they developed them for years and years and years, and they could do that with these movies. I mean, if they're complete flops, then of course they're not going to do that. And honestly, now that we're living in the future,
with jetpacks,
they don't do that anymore. They're like all about profit. If it doesn't make profit, they move on. And that's wishful thinking. But if they want to build something that's coherent, they need to do a little bit of that. They need to fail a couple of times and learn as they go, and then they'll have something that's sturdy. Because if they just keep changing their mind every 15 minutes, that they'll never do it.
I think the next Wonder Woman film should just be her walking around beating up bad guys to her awesome theme for 3 hours.
Yeah,
like in the Batman. So I did not get sick of that theme on the Batman, and they utilized it very well.
Cocainum.
Oh dear.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Plum. It's the volume's a bit low, but it's good.
On what? The volume's a bit low on that on my mic. Okay.
No.
No, honestly, but one of the things I have heard that I think is true is that Warner Brothers has parted ways with Patty Jenkins, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think one of the reasons why, like, Patty Jenkins was given nothing but, like, she was literally given carte blanche with Wonder Woman 1984, and then the movie ended up being so poor. Like, there were things that were changed. You can tell when you watch the movie. There are things that make no sense with that movie. Like, why does she turn up in that gold costume? That came out of nowhere. The end of that film makes no sense. Like, the villains, I love Pedro Pascal, but the villain is poorly written. The motivations aren't there. And that film, if anything, was a failure of writing. And it was Patty Jenkins that wrote that movie. And I do think the first movie wasn't written by Patty Jenkins, and actually Zack Snyder had a lot to do with that first movie. And I do think, weirdly, I think Snyder understands Wonder Woman better than most people. And I would love to see him come back and do something with Wonder Woman. He has said he's interested, but the problem is that it looks bad if you get rid of the Patty Jenkins, a great female director, woman director, brilliant, but she really, really messed up with Wonder Woman 1984, and that really upset a lot of people. I was just disappointed. It's like, that was the fact that I was watching that movie, and at the end it was like me saying, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed, which I think is even worse. That really upset me, that movie, because they had everything going for them, and they had extra time as well to work on the film because of the pandemic. They could have got it really, really spot on, but like, I do worry, like, if them to make a Wonder Woman 3, which I'm actually at the moment I'm not sure they do. That they need to think long and hard about who they've got involved in that film. But I also think that if Patty Jenkins doesn't do it, then I do wonder whether Gal Gadot would also walk, because they're very close. So, and again, you can pay her a lot of money; she'll probably do it. But
I'll do it if they pay me a lot of money. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'll pay Wonder Woman.
Give me the lasso. I got this. I'm going to need a really strong corset for that, though. That's
yeah. And Danzig says, didn't Patty write 1984 with Jeff Johns? Yes, she did. I think they're the two credited writers, but I think it was her original story, which is why it's so disappointing.
Well, I was just thinking about all of the successes and failures, and how would Zaslav be looking at all this? And he's going to look at, like, okay, these movies are kind of all over the place, and those guys have everything cohesive, but you do have the Joker that, like, made a ton of money, so we can't completely abandon that. And then some comic book nerd says,
how expensive would it be to bring back that cohesive universe?
Well, you have to start over. Yeah, and I mean, you can look at a lot of things too, like Looney Tunes. It's a universe. They all have separate cartoons, like things, and then it's cohesive. You know what I mean? Like, and this is all cartoons, but Hanna-Barbera, they all have different shows, but then they all show up together for the Cartoon Express. Like, I don't know if you ever watched that when you were a kid, but I mean, like, just do that. Just don't be so weird that it doesn't match up. And then sometimes you do a Joker on the side, which is just the same way that comic books are. You know what I mean? Like, you have a universe that's all works together. People pop up all the time, and then sometimes you have this Elseworlds thing, like, So it's like whatever. Like you can do that.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter. Where people are like, that's their thing. That's Marvel's thing. We do things separate, or it's nobody's thing. It's marketing, and these guys are business people. They're gonna look at this and they're like, look, I think we can have crossovers and do all this, and it's not anybody's thing. If you want to have
a comics for decades,
what's that?
Right, it's been like that in the comics for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like the multiverse. I think the multiverse was created, or not created, but it was coined in the comic book lore from DC first. The Marvel did it with their Crisis, right? So like they both use the multiverse, so it's not who did it first or like who owns that idea. It's a comic book movie. There's going to be other Earths out there. We can have the Snyder universe, we can have the Batman universe, we can have the Joker universe, right? We can have all that. We can have our cake and eat it too, and you can love it all. You don't have to have a camp. You don't have to be an unpaid employee for a franchise.
Very good.
Yes.
Should give yourself a little applause for that. Round of applause. You should write this.
It's okay with me.
Yeah, he wants to give himself the.
No matter where you go, there you are.
I found a cool remix of that, by the way. That Buckaroo Banzai. That was awesome. I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, you should do. But as far as DC Studio, I hope they call it DC Studios. I'd love that, and I'd be excited to see what they would do also in the TV space as well, because I think that's becoming more and more important now. And with the success of Peacemaker, they're doing a Peacemaker season 2. James Gunn is doing something else as well after that, which isn't Peacemaker related. I'm really interested to see that. James Gunn would be an interesting shout for someone.
Yeah.
Someone to look over, oversee things. That would be crazy. James Gunn's DC universe. He's so mad. Yeah, literally. But I'd like that. But he's a director, not really a producer. But you can wear two hats.
Well,
yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say they want these shows and movies to be able to overlap like Marvels do.
Yeah.
So if they have Batgirl on streaming, they want her to be able to show up in the theater too.
Yeah, and the Blue Beetle movie is going to theaters, so that's going to be quite interesting as well. It is they're doing that now. But Sharon Stone's dropped out of the movie. That was really sad to hear. But they've replaced her with
Susan Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon. There we go. Replaced that's going to be really fun. I think that film. But it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle the whole HBO Max thing. Like the experiment of putting films straight to HBO Max, that's going to be. I'm interested to see how that works out, especially with this Batgirl film, because there's a lot riding on that movie. It's going to have to be really good. If it's not good, oh dear, I can't watch another Wonder Woman 1984. I'd be so disappointed.
Leslie, I don't know if y'all were talking about it before I came on, but Leslie Grace, is that her name? Leslie Grace?
Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah. She was bragging about it. I heard saying, "Hey, this looks great," but
I mean, she has to though. She's in the movie.
I guess that's her job. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I really like the two directors. They're the I'm really sorry. I always forget their names, but they're the ones that directed Bad Boys for Life. It's actually a good movie, actually, that film. But they're Belgian directors, and I'm really looking forward to see what they do with it. I just can't wait to see Michael Keaton return as Batman. I think he's quite heavily involved in that movie. And Brendan Fraser as Firefly. That film seems like a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Should we go on to the next topic?
Sure.
Which I think we should talk a little bit about Moonknight Episode 3. Should move to the MCU. And that's what's going on in the MCU. So have you guys all watched it, first off?
Are you talking to the chat?
You two, or all of us three watched it, right? Yeah, you watched it?
Yeah.
You did the Bridgerton article. I know you did it. Yeah, so I think we're going to have some spoilers, right? Some spoilers.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, then maybe look away now. come back in about let's give this at least 10 minutes, I think. Because first off, Clint, what did you make of this episode?
I enjoyed this episode. It kind of goes off the rails in some ways of what I expected from the series, of what I expected. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But I do, like, I have books, all kinds of theology books, and like I've always studied the gods and like as a kid my whole life and stuff. So I'm very much into that sort of thing. What I thought is that we were going to get a street level guy like Batman who has multiple personalities, sometimes blacks out and accidentally beats the crap out of people, and it's Moon Knight doing street level stuff, running around. I didn't know we were walking into Stargate, where all of a sudden they're inside of a pyramid and all these gods are showing up. You know what I mean? So it's like but I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? I'm still enjoying it. You know, you got this like in this article, it says they tease a little bit of a new character. Yeah, he's hurting people, and you got Mark Spector is like, what the hell? What, Steven? Of course Steven didn't do it. He's like, what the hell? Like, I didn't do it. Why did you do that? I didn't do that. You know, and like, well, who's the other guy? Who's doing this? So it's kind of a mystery. We got a brutal killing personality apparently that's doing some bad stuff. And yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think about this episode?
I thought it was a really good. I think my Wi-Fi is going out actually, so
you've been on a bit of delay all night, Edward. So
yeah, I think it's my internet. But I really liked this episode. I thought this episode was really, really good. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of this season that is. I really like the way they're leaning into this character. That the character they tease, I think it's Jake. Like they're one of the other characters that's in the series in the comic books. And in the comic books, he works. Jake is a persona of his that works mostly with spies and things like that. And he's the one that kind of gathers information and is more kind of street level. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to bring that character in. I think there's also a third version of this. Yeah, he's a cab driver. There's a third version of the suit as well, which I think we'll end up seeing further down the line. And honestly, like I love this episode. Seeing Gaspar Ulliel in this, like I was kind of not really ready for it, and then I was like, oh god, that's so sad. He was looking fine as well. Oh, god, he's so good looking. Gaspar Ulliel. It's just so sad, but gone too soon. But it's nice to see him in this, and it's nice to see his work kind of appreciated, because I've always been a big fan of his, and I was really looking forward to seeing him play Midnight Man. And hopefully he might be in a bit more of this season. I don't know how much he filmed, but I also like the dynamic between Mark and his wife. They're still married. I think they're two very interesting characters. And the stakes are very high at the end of this. And I really, really do like this show. It's bringing a new mythology, which I'm really excited to see. And I hope there's another season as well. I hope they do a season 2 or bring Moon Knight into the MCU, into the bigger MCU. I think he's such a cool character. That fight scene as well with the spikes getting thrown into him. That was a good fight scene.
Well, that fight scene was all right.
I liked it.
Everyone's saying it was like amazing, but I mean, to me, like I watched it, I'm like, that's good. It's a little bit clunky, but I liked it. I liked how they pinned him down with the spears and everything. I don't know. I like the episode. I want to see more Mr. Knight. I could do a whole like series with Mr. Knight, and yeah, but I really like the episode. That is all.
What did you guys think about the turning back the skies thing? That was kind of weird. I was almost like my logical side was like thinking, okay, is he actually moving the skies? Is this a light trick? You know what I mean? Is he just, is this just
rotating?
Yeah. But then I heard someone else talking about it, and they're like, dude, if he was moving the skies, it would take millions and millions of years for that light to get here anyway. So I'm like, yeah, this is a light trick, is what it is. It's all he's doing is causing an illusion of moving the skies around to what he remembers them looking like. You know what I mean? But it was like it's a lot to think about. Like, oh, is he actually doing that or not? Are we time traveling or not? Like, what's happening here? So that was kind of weird. And distracting, honestly. I'm like, what the hell is he doing when I was watching the show? But it was cool. It's like he could have just said, hey, I remember what the skies looked like, and they looked like this. And I guess that's kind of what he did. But
yeah,
I guess I guess I just answered my own thought. You know, that's what he did. He just showed them what the skies looked like. But the other god, he did say this is going to cause some attention and alert the other gods of some bad behavior. So watch, here we go. So that means everyone else could see it too. And it showed the people in the streets doing it. It just was kind of weird. I was like, what in the hell is happening while this is happening?
Well, Barry from our friends over at Stay Lifted Productions, they do a stream every week, and Barry has these amazing theories for Marvel and DC shows, and he was thinking that now that all the gods, Edward's gone, now that all the gods have been introduced, it's a perfect opportunity to bring in Gore the God Slayer and tease Thor Ragnarok.
I actually thought a little bit about that too. I said something in before. Might have been a different conversation, but yeah, I was like, I would like to get a Christian Bale cameo. Is that likely? I don't know, but I think they're leaning that way.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was likely either. Like, how much money is he gonna want? And he's a pretty serious actor too, but he might do it. Like, it might have been part of the contract. You have to do one cameo for an end credit scene, maybe. Maybe that's how they write the contracts.
And also, like, he's at the studio. Hey, while we got you here, can we do this? It's gonna tease the movie that you're about to promote for a year. You know what I mean? Like, it seems pretty easy for them to do that while they got him in front of a green screen to just pop in and do something really quick.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you got to think too, they're really opening it up into the whole cosmic space entities and gods thing and leaning that way. So it could be something like that. What's up, Edward? You're back. We were wondering if maybe there's theories of maybe it's like kind of leading into maybe a little Christian Bale action
or the
happening
God Slayer, because they introduced all the gods in the latest episode.
And we're gonna have Thor coming pretty soon, so it'll be a great time to do that.
It would be a good time. I don't think they're going to bring him in there though. Something about that doesn't sound quite right to me. And also, I think the mythology is probably different. So I think Gore the God Butcher has more to do with Norse mythology rather than Egyptian mythology.
He does all gods.
Yeah.
He travels through time and space and all over, eating up killing gods everywhere. He's not just interested in the Norse stuff. He's particularly interested in them because Thor was like the first person to defeat him, and so he's kind of got a beef with Thor for that, But like, he would definitely, I think he would definitely like to eat Khonshu for breakfast. You know what I mean?
I like how many more of these big superpowered being groups are they going to introduce in the Marvel universe that have been like, oh no, we just choose to stay out of humanity's way. Like, it's just something we want to do. We're just sitting back and watch. Like, you got the Eternals, now you got all these Egyptian gods. Like, I understand that they couldn't bring them in because then the Avengers wouldn't need to be formed and all that stuff. But there's only so many retconning they can do.
Yeah, I think I saw the Watcher up in the corner when he was spinning the skies. I was like, hey, wait a minute, I think I saw somebody.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. Don't write an article about that. I'm just being sarcastic.
Larsh. It's Larsh.
Oh, look at this.
Yes, Larsh. So this is a fun story. We've all how long has it been now that we've been saying that Lars Mikkelsen's been in talks for
at least a year and a half?
Thrawn. a long time, a long time. Yeah, so apparently they're going to unveil him at Star Wars Celebration, which is what, May 26th, I think it is. Is that right? Off the top of my head, I think it's May 26th and May 29th in Anaheim. And so I was told that that they're going to unveil him, but then I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I reached out to his team, his reps, and they, if you scroll down further down, they said something which I thought was quite funny. Because I specifically asked them, I was like, is he going to be there, and is he playing Thrawn? And as Lars has a particularly heavy filming schedule, I doubt he'll be free to attend this event. But they didn't deny that he was cast as Thrawn. So I was like, it's a two-part question, guys. you only you didn't say anything about the first bit, and I asked them again, and they just went very silent on me. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to post. I'm going to publish this. Yeah, because I think it's pretty much nailed on. People I've been talking to for quite some time now have been saying that this is something that they've wanted to happen for a long time, and even someone told me that the idea is to have him send a little video message to the fans at one of the panels. There's a big panel. I think it's starting off with a massive panel where you've got people from the Ahsoka series that are going to be there, Mandalorian, all the upcoming series. And I'm pretty sure that one of the things they're going to announce is who's playing live action Thrawn and who's playing live action Ezra Bridger. And the name for Ezra Bridger I've been hearing is Mena Massoud.
Is he the Aladdin guy?
Yeah, he played Aladdin. That's the actor that I think he's been tied to it for quite some time, even though he's publicly denied it. That so yeah, and then you can wait that. So yeah, Lars is a really busy guy as well. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff. He's actually going to be in a Star Wars fan film as well, which I think is hilarious. It's like a Danish Star Wars fan film that he's going to be. So yeah, I think it's. I really like the casting. He, of course, he voices the Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Star Wars Rebel series, so he already has the voice down. He literally looks like Thrawn as well, like an aged Thrawn, which would make sense. Since it's quite a few years after the events of Star Wars Rebels that this takes place. And they, yeah.
He's incredible, dude. Like, he's an incredible actor. His voice, like, you couldn't replace him as Thrawn. I did a video about this a year ago, about him. Like, come on, people were talking about, like, hey, you should get Benedict Cumberbatch, and somebody was like, well, what if they get Robert Downey Jr.? You know, and I almost had a mild stroke, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, the voice actor does live action acting. He's a fantastic real actor. Why not get the guy to do the thing? I get it when it's somebody like Sabine Wren. You know, she's not that experienced. She does a lot of voice acting, but she doesn't have a ton of screen experience. But this guy's a fantastic grade A live action actor. Like, why wouldn't you get him? And you guys wrote about it, you know, small screen. I say you guys, like, everybody's like, y'all are all small screen. Like, you know, Edward and James have small screen, and I read their stuff, and then I interact with them publicly on the channel, and I said, yeah, dude, they hit a home run with this, because it it has to be him. It absolutely has to. And then yesterday I read an article somewhere that I didn't even read it. I just saw the headline and I shut my phone off, and it said Ray Stevenson to be possibly unveiled as the Thrawn actor in Ahsoka. And I was like, Ray Stevenson? Are you kidding me? Like, his neck's like this wide. Are you, like, what are you talking about? So
Ray Stevenson's playing another character in Ahsoka. They've already revealed the character. Yeah.
They were just assuming it was Thrawn.
Yeah, he's not literally in the so the Hollywood Reporter broke that, and they specifically say that he will not be playing Thrawn. It's saying it's unclear who Stevenson will play, but sources say he is a villain in the series and will play an admiral, although not Thrawn. So he's, to be honest, Stevenson would have been a good choice. He's got the right look, but I think he's going to be playing some other sort of villain. They haven't actually said the name. They just specified in that exclusive that it won't be Thrawn.
They'd have to do like a Hercules in New York thing where they have Lars do his voiceover, and they have Ray Stevenson stand there and move his mouth. That could work.
It could, yeah. It could. I mean, maybe, but I think like Lars Mikkelsen is such a talented actor. Like, he's been in so much stuff, and he's in The Witcher, for instance. So he's actually filming. I think he's filming The Witcher season 3 now, and really, he was really good in House of Cards. He was incredible in Borgen. He is, of course, Mads Mikkelsen's brother. He's his older brother. They're just a very talented family, like a ridiculously talented family. His voice is so the thing is, because of Star Wars Rebels, you could not have another actor play that role because the voice would immediately be wrong. And Dave Filoni was very careful, I think, about who he chose to voice the actor, because when I was there when Dave Filoni announced that it was going to be Lars Mikkelsen doing the voice, and he made it very clear. So we wanted an actor that was not just a voice actor, but also someone that could act. That on the big screen, on the small screen, has had a lot of, he said, Shakespearean quality to him, which I think is something that Lars Mikkelsen really does have. And one of the things that that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau they do is that they do listen to the fans. And I think the calls to have Lars Mikkelsen play Grand Admiral Thrawn in live action have been very loud, just like they were to have Rosario Dawson play Ahsoka Tano in live action. The same with Katie Sackhoff play Bo-Katan in live action as well. So we're just like, when I was told this, I was like, this just makes so much sense, and I can't really see them going another way. Like, you should look at Lars's face. He has those angular features, which is what Thrawn is supposed to have, and
he's perfect.
I think it's perfect. And then there were lots of people saying Benedict Cumberbatch, and then Benedict Cumberbatch was asked about it and didn't know who the character was, and then he's like, "Oh, is it?" And then the guy, one of the journalist said, "Oh, he's blue," and he immediately said, "No, not interested."
He's like, "I'm gonna deal with that with Jupiter's legacy hair in Doctor Strange. I'm not doing blue makeup." Okay, that's where I draw the line, dude. If you haven't seen or listened to, I listen to books a lot because I'm on the go all the time. I don't have a lot of time to sit around and read, just because I'm always moving. But the Thrawn books, like, you can get them on Audible or by Timothy Zahn, are fantastic. And the guy whose voice they used in that is very similar. Unless it's Lars Mikkelsen, I doubt it. I think it's somebody else.
It's not. But I've listened to those books as well.
But it's very similar, and the cadence and just the vibe of Thrawn is really important. And like you said, you couldn't get another person to do that. He's like, Lars Mikkelsen's perfect. And I'd like to meet his parents just to see where him and Mads came from, because they're seriously talented.
Well, you know, Mads Mikkelsen actually started off life as a ballerina.
Wow,
that's what he did. He was very good, apparently. And you should watch some of the interviews that Lars does. He did an interview with the CEO of Netflix. What's his name? Ted Saranto or something like that.
Doesn't matter.
Well, he did an interview with him in a cafe in Copenhagen, which is it's really interesting. And I can listen to Lars Mikkelsen talk for hours. He's got such a really good voice.
Is it Lars or Mads that was the ballerina?
Mads was the ballerina,
Mads,
and Lars talks about it in the interviews. Like, yeah, my brother was a ballerina. Lars has a weird accent because Lars, you can tell he spent a lot of time in London because he has an almost East London accent, whereas Mads Mikkelsen is very, very Danish, like very Scandinavian. I always found that really interesting. Like, then listening to Lars, it's just like his voice is like just so smooth. It's just like really, it's a really good like. It's just like very silky smooth. I love it. You wouldn't be able to have anyone else play that role. You really wouldn't.
I just want to listen to it while I'm falling asleep. It's like,
yeah.
If you like Thrawn, if you're a fan, there is somebody, I don't remember the name of his channel, but just look up YouTube, or just look up Lars, not Lars, but Thrawn quotes, and they do a lot of like little speeches in Rebels, and somebody's taken the time to cut them out, and they have them for different things. So it'll be like motivation, and you can listen to Thrawn give you his life advice for motivation, or like friends, or different things, and they're pretty fun. I like them.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool.
Right, shall we? Okay, moving on. You're tearing me apart, Tommy. Tommy Wiseau wants a role in the Star Wars universe.
Hell yeah!
Oh, Tommy.
He kind of looks like Oscar Isaac trying to be Tommy Lee.
It's like the best and worst poster of all time for a movie.
It's interesting where this came from because Mark Hamill said, "Did you miss me?" And then the Star Wars universe replied, "Oh, hi, Mark." And then Tommy Wiseau said, "You're tearing me apart, Star Wars. Put me in your universe." And Greg Sesteros replied, "He plays."
Yeah, I'm very busy. What's going on?
He plays Mark from The Room, and he replied, "Oh, hi, Mark." So it's interesting where that came from. Do you think Hamill is coming back to Star Wars universe? First of all, should Tommy Wiseau be in the Star Wars universe? I say yes. Plum says Tommy is Thrawn.
Yeah.
They should make him an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just have him be the new Emperor. Like in the new movie, in the new trilogy, have him be the new like. What's the name of the Sith that was Palpatine's master? What's his name? Is it
Plagueis?
Darth Plagueis. They should have Plagueis. Yeah, Sidious was, they should have him be. Yeah, Sidious is Palpatine.
They'll need to give Tommy like a Han Solo type rogue role. He'll need to be like.
I think he has to be a Sith. He has to be a Sith.
Scroll up a little bit. Let's see him, and go a little bit more up to the other one. Dude, that is a Sith. You just give him like, that's like the Sith King of Exegol right there.
Yeah, but you don't know Tommy. Tommy would want the dashing roguelike role.
Yeah, he doesn't like playing villains. He doesn't like playing villains. That's the whole thing. Because if you watch The Disaster Artist, he talks about that's talked about. It's like he's always getting cast as villains.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want to be. What did he keep on saying? It's like something like James. Was it James Dean?
Yeah,
he gets wanting to be James Dean.
He wants to be a rebel like James Dean.
He wants to be a rebel like James Dean. I'm still fascinated. I want to know who he really is, where he comes from. How the hell did he get $6 million to make The Room? Like no one knows.
Knockoff jeans.
Yeah, you can't make that much money from selling knockoff jeans.
Well, a bunch of different stuff, but you should really read The Disaster Artist. It's a great book. That's what the movie is based off of. And it goes into like what Greg Sesteros said about Tommy selling the jeans and some real estate and stuff like that. Yeah. So he's very mysterious about his past, where he comes from. A lot of people think he's Eastern European. And that's where his accent comes from. Yeah. So, but
where does he say he says he comes from like somewhere in America, doesn't he? When he's asked about that.
Yeah. New Orleans. Yeah.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
God.
They should use him to
The
replace
greatest-
replace Ezra Miller in the Fantastic Beasts film.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was make you believe he didn't exist. His name is Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy's awesome. He did an animated pilot. What was it called?
You showed me. Yeah,
I sent it to you. Yeah, it was really good. I liked it. I wish they kept it going. So
he's got so honest. I need to watch The Room again. It's such a funny movie. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Oh, hi, doggy.
I've still never seen The Room.
You have to watch it. You're my best and favorite customer.
It's funny too.
How's your sex life?
Yeah, that scene in the store where he picks up the roses. They had like 1 hour to shoot it or something. That's why
you could tell
so fast. Yeah. So
that is it's one of the funniest, worst movies you will ever watch. It's just hilarious. It's so good. You have to watch it, Clint. But the thing is, you have to watch it with friends. I think that's what makes it funnier.
You can watch it by yourself. You'll still enjoy it. Trust me. So, but I was saying like something that we need to do like a watch party on. Clint and I were talking about it last week. He told me I'd never seen it 2 weeks ago. Like, oh, we should probably watch it together.
Yeah, we definitely need to.
I really want
that. That'd
I
be
really
hilarious to do that. Anyway.
Yeah. I really hope he comes to Canada. I would love to go see it in the theater and have him present it. He was just in Philadelphia. Yeah.
He comes to London a lot and does it.
What's that?
He comes to London a lot and does this at the Prince Charles Cinema. He opens it and answers questions. But I think Greg Sestero comes a lot as well to London.
He posted a picture of himself in like a tub of Philadelphia cream cheese, and he's like, "Hi, I'm in Philly." It was pretty funny.
I'm in Philly. I get it. That's great.
Oh.
I need to keep.
I'm having issues. My sound keeps on cutting out.
All right, let's wrap it up. Stranger Things 4 season 4 trailer. It was a good trailer. I just watched it. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be about the same as like the other 3 seasons. I'm excited to see what happens with Hopper getting out of the Russian jail. That'll be neat. And an interesting timing too for him being in a Russian prison. I wonder if they're going to wreck on that. So
maybe.
Where can we find you, Clint?
You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Clint Baker Channel. We'll be doing the Raid versus Dread later on tonight. So if you want to, it's gonna be a good versus tonight. So come check that out. And also, I'm the OG Clint Baker on all the socials. Yes, sir.
There it is.
There
it is.
There it is.
Edward. There he is.
You can find me at Small Screen Co. everywhere. And EJ Lauder if you so wish. And all articles on small-screen.co.uk. And you better like and subscribe. Hit that fucking like button.
Go over there and hit the fucking like button. All right, you hit it now. You motherfucking hit the fucking like.
I like how the show just goes off the rails when we start wrapping it up. Like I don't know if Edward froze or if he's like just
I'm just kidding.
There we go. Yeah. And you can find me at 42.com and youtube.com that James Guy 42 and youtube.com/smallscreenco. Go check out our new videos. Thank you for all the subs that we've been getting lately. Really appreciate it. We got a bunch of big stuff planned. And we just reached 2,720 subs. That's excellent.
Woo!
Thank you, everyone. Everyone that's subscribing, thank you. Maybe you guys will watch the show one day. Who knows? I don't care.
Maybe.
They can watch our videos. That's good.
And congrats on that Reacher video. Didn't that bring And congrats, James. Didn't you just break 100,000 on your own channel?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same time within the hour. It was Star Trek Takes a Dig at Seinfeld video that I put up like 2 years ago when the pandemic started, and it just hit 100K. So the algorithm bid it. Yeah, not bad. CBS gets a lot of money from that. Yeah.
That's like getting 2 phone calls at the same time telling you you're awesome. That's great.
All right, guys. Yeah, smash
right.
that like on your way out. And definitely go check out Raj's award-winning film. It's really good. It's called Eve. And definitely watch it. It deserves all the praise. I really like the concept and the directing and cinematography. The only thing that was missing was a cameo from Raj, but because of the concept, it was good. Edward's frozen again. Wow, are you that delayed, Edward?
Oh, is this where I'm supposed to say, what is all this about? And he says, shut up, I asked the question. Yeah.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.
She'll win